Hey everyone, Ninja Toothpick and now this is 339 of the three-part installment of Fairy Tail this week. Yes, I'm doing this in a three-part series because I talk too damn much for one video. I really do. I like to get very in-depth with things. I'm a very, whatever you want to fucking call me. But anyway, three-part. Anyway, 339, holy shit. It was probably one of the saddest chapters I've ever read in my entire life. But it's also so fucking scary that it's not even funny. Anyway, to start it out, we have Jalal and Merity looking around for Ultear, and they're talking about about all the time magic and how it can't even heal wounds. Dorenbolt appears, and Master Org appears, talking to Lahar about the games, and Dorenbolt, and it turns out, whenever we get back to Dorenbolt talking to Jalal, that he wiped the minds of all the counters. Jalal is like freaking shocked out of his fucking mind about how he had the power to do that. And the reason Dorenbolt did it is because no one could really figure out the royal family actually used the black magic, because it turns out that Eclipse was a black magic, and if anyone figured out that they used it, then they would basically, the royal status would probably be destroyed and there would be no royal family at all. And it turns out he also altered Lahar's mind. And whenever Doran goes to leave, Jalal asks him what happened to Cobra. And it turns out Cobra just strolled straight back up in there. He just came back to jail. He's like, I'm back, bitches. But here's where the part gets freaking eerie. Cobra says that he gathered a lot of voices and heard something that would save the other 6 mages. And by other 6 mages, I think he meant the other Dragon Slayers, because if you think there were 7 Dragon Slayers minus him, it would be 6. So I'm thinking he's talking about the other Dragon Slayers. And Dorn asked him what he heard, and he said, who knows? And very disturbingly. And he says that the door to Hades will open. And he said, don't mess with his memory until it does. And then, like, Dorenbolt's talking to Jalal about what the door to Hades is. And it's called the Door to Hades Tartarus. And he says, this is the scariest fucking thing. He says it's the Barum Alliance mixed with Grimoire Heart and Oricion Sayus. If you remember, the Barum Alliance is a huge ass fucking group of mage guilds, like dark mage guilds. Grimoire Heart was that fucking guild that attacked the Fairy Tail Island, and Oricion Cyrus was what from, or Sayus, was from what Cobra was from. Yeah. But anyway, we get over and an old lady shows up and asks if Merity and Jalal or Mary and Jalal. And she says that she has a letter from a lady. And then they start reading it, and it's Ulf. And she's explaining how during the battle her magic failed her, and due to that her life's dimming and hanging by a thread. And that she just wants to tell them goodbye. And she proceeds on telling them to not forget about their guild that they created. I can't remember the name of it right now. I think it has something to do with crime. But, and she says that to not forget their sins, not have your sins crushes, and believe in a day that they will be forgiven. She tells them to defeat Zeref, and otherwise a lot of mages will suffer sorrow. That was a really kind of sad part, but anyway, then it shows a what's it called? It shows like a cart, and it's Gray, Lucy, Natsu, Ursa, and Wendy, and now all the cats, and they're all talking about how much fun they have and stuff, and then the cart goes by that same little old lady. And we start to see her thoughts and stuff, and they're just like Ols is the thing. And Gray looks out and sees her, and she smiles at him, and Gray gets them to stop the cart. And the old lady thinks to herself, and at the last moment, I finally forgave myself. If that's not Ultear, that's some high adulterated bullshit. That is bullshit if that's not all, because that is exactly what she was thinking right before she died. Died, in air quotes. And Gray, literally, Gray remembers to when he was shot and thinks it would, and thinks to himself, he says, it was you. And Gray starts crying, and he says, like mother, like daughter, why? The old lady, and then the last little thought that we have in this chapter, the old lady thinks, goodbye, my beloved people. She didn't die! Of course not! It's fairy tale, but seriously, she's not dead. If that's gotta be Ultear. I mean, honestly, that's got to be fucking Ultear, because honestly, that's the biggest freaking thought that Ultear ever had, was forgiving herself. Gray says, like mother, like daughter, and she knew that it was Jalal and Meridian. Anyway, guys, tell me your thoughts about whether that's all or not down in the comment section below. And the last one, 340, coming up. Anyway, guys, I'm going to Toothpick, and that's pretty much it for this one.